So good afternoon slash evening, everyone. Excited to be here. I think I don't have quite the energy that some of you teaching people do at the end of your day. I can let you know that I was actually in the car all day to Madison, so it's actually nice not to see a windshield and to be actually chatting with all of you. So appreciate the opportunity to share and talk about WisTech and Wisconsin AT for All. And Kathy, I am not able to see the chat as we go along, so I will kindly ask if you could let me know if there's any things I need to be aware of in chat as we go through.
Absolutely.
So
We'll keep an eye on it.
perfect. So again, Laura Plummer, and I'm the statewide Assistive Technology Program Coordinator, and I work through the Department of Health Services in the Bureau of Aging and Disability Resources, and then a couple sub-office names after that, but we don't need to play alphabet soup with my workplace. So just a little bit about my background is I have a master's degree in deafness rehab counseling, as well as additional training in deaf-blind. So obviously my background and experience is related to sensory disabilities. I'm also a certified rehab counselor and an assistive technology professional. But in reality, I'm just somebody that likes to figure things out, play with new gadgets, and find solutions to help everybody function as the best that they can. And so we're going to dive in a little bit about AT, WisTech, and then we're going to do some navigation of Wisconsin AT for All website for folks. So I don't know if in the chat, if people want to mention if they've used AT for All or not. I do know a couple of you have. I know Tessa's in there, who is a grand champion user of AT for All. But just a quick reminder, as Kathy shared, AT assistive technology is really any product or piece of equipment or solution or strategy that improves the functional capabilities of people with disabilities. So let's not forget that it can be simple over-the-counter mainstream type of equipment or devices or tools on up to things that are custom made. It's also things that we use in our day-to-day life, like a lever door handle, or very complex. I mean, all of our smartphones at one time would have been considered assistive technology. So it really is anything. I don't know if anyone has ever had the spring on their garage door broken and tried to use their garage door without that spring. That spring is actually, that's an environmental control. It allows you to push that button and the garage goes up and down. So I just like to emphasize that. And just remembering that services really include its wraparound. So it's not just the device, it's everything that goes with that. And when we talk about assistive technology, we have to remember that's lots of different categories. I know in the chat, I saw people putting down some things that they'd love to borrow or what would they like to have in a lending library. And, one of the big ones I saw was AAC. And I feel that we are lucky in this state that we have quite a few opportunities for people to try and borrow augmentative communication. But it's our devices that are just for daily living. It's things that we're going to use in a classroom, at home, out in the community. It's things for hearing and vision. It's our wheelchairs. It's our mobility devices, things like that. So it really encompasses any and all products and strategies. And you're going to hear me say solutions and strategies as we talk, because sometimes it's not always a device. Sometimes it's just doing things a little bit differently. So this is a catch-all slide, but we have a wealth of resources in our state for assistive technology, and we're just going to touch briefly on a few of these as we go through. But it starts with WisTech and our AT program. DPI has several different programs that we can tap into and utilize, and then we've got some funding programs and other wraparound type services. So just in brief, the WisTech program is one of the federally funded Assistive Technology Act programs. So every state and every territory has an AT Act program. It was just reauthorized last December, and prior to that, it had been reauthorized in 2004. So we were long overdue. But that's funding that every state gets from the Administration for Community Living to support assistive technology services throughout that state. And on this slide is a kind of a flow chart at the very bottom. And it encompasses really the purpose of our Assistive Technology Act programs. The whole goal is to create access for assistive technology. And that begins with public awareness. It begins with doing trainings, providing information and assistance, responding to phone calls, emails, things like answering questions, pointing to people to the right resources. From there, it lends itself to being able to try out equipment, either through a demonstration or through borrowing. Similar to how we all, most of the time, try clothes on before we buy them, assistive technology is the same way. You're going to get a better match if you can actually try out the piece of equipment. From there, it's acquiring that device, and that might be through resources such as funding. It might be through a reuse program where it's a piece of used or donated equipment that's been refurbished and then made available, or it might be through our state financing program called WisLoan that's available to help people finance assistive technology. So it's really that continuum of assistive technology. And tonight we are really going to focus on that device demo and that device loan portion of that. So this slide is a breakdown of how the AT Act, where our funding has to go. So on the one side, it goes to state leadership, which things like I'm doing tonight, giving a presentation, providing public awareness, providing education about AT. It's maybe providing technical assistance. And then on the flip side of that is our state level. And that's really where you guys would interact the most with WisTech. And that's through our loans, demos, our reuse, and our alternative financing. So one of the key ways that we do the AT Act in Wisconsin is we're a more decentralized program. Some states have like one primary location, and then they ship things throughout the state. We have chosen from the beginning of this program to be more decentralized, and we partner with our independent living centers. So on the screen is a map of the 8 independent living centers and the counties that they serve throughout the state. And we have additional partners through the Department of Corrections. We partner with DPI and CISA2. We partner with Agribility, the ALS Association, UW-Madison, as well as our telecommunications funding programs. So what is important to understand when we want to talk about accessing the WisTech loan and demo inventory is first is to figure out which independent living center covers the county that you're serving. Because that's kind of where it all starts, is you work with that independent living center and work on being able to either have a device demoed or a device loaned for you. There are some statewide lending programs that we're going to talk about, and that number one is through the AT Lending Center, through DPI and CISA2, as well as our iPad loan and program through WisTech, which is basically centralized and it covers statewide. So Wisconsin AT for All is the landing page for our loan and demo inventory. And we've utilized AT for All, I want to say actually since around 2010, it has been in existence. And 2 years ago, we welcomed the AT Lending Center inventory into this website database. And so we will actually end up leaving our PowerPoint and jumping into here. But this is a screenshot, and then the website for it is down below. So it's wisconsinatforall.com. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. All right. So I see some new, I'm just sliding through the chat just to see if we have any other questions coming on. Thank you, Iris. Another person who probably likes to go clothes shopping just like me. All right, so I'm going to jump back over here and get this.
Laura, we did get a question that said, are we able to share the website out to other teachers around the state?
Oh, of course. So I will, that's a great lead in to as we talk about. So on the screen, you should be seeing our AT for All website. So it's Wisconsin AT for the number 4, all.com. This is a public facing website for any and everyone throughout Wisconsin. So WisTech serves individuals regardless of disability and regardless of age. So we work with the whole entire lifespan. At one point, I think when I was doing direct services, I literally had a 2-year-old and a 99-year-old on my caseload of the individuals I was working with for technology. So most definitely this is available for anyone to browse to see what's out there, who's got it, how do I get it. So please, yes, please share that.